issue for a lot of them that won't take on any more work.
CPA firm.
So I have 3 more that I'm still waiting for, so hopefully one of them will turn up.
Any questions for Sandy on either one of those digitalization of our municipal records or the CPA RFPs? If not, no code officer report.
Yeah,
Are you doing?
I do want to just say why I got you all here.
Okay.
I know we've kicked this around and we're not getting a lot of interest, because they're like, there's guys out there or girls that want to do this, but I need a clear direction from council, and I believe we have enough to make this a full-time position, if that's the council's wishes. It wasn't part-time.
That's what we discussed, right?
Yeah.
No, it was kicking it back and forth, but,
Yeah, I think we need.
I thought we kicked it in that direction.
Yeah, I did too.
Full time.
Yeah.
all right.
Betty, Wanda, are you still in agreement with full-time, looking for a full-time person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody down this way?
Yep.
All right,
There's your marching orders on that.
okay. I'm good.
All right.
I'm done for the night.
Boards, committees, and commissions, no meeting in August for planning. We've already talked at length about what's going on with the park and approved that backstop change order. And Brent, nothing on the tax collection committee for Adams County. And everybody just got from Dave the emails today on those areas for Adams Tax Bureau, Council of Governments.
Yeah, and they have one more meeting, and I'm not sure exact date, but it's usually one meeting each quarter. And I don't know if it's in November or December. I haven't gotten any email about the exact date of that. Council of Governments is meeting this Thursday at 8:30 over at the Emergency Management Services Building on Greenmeyer Lane in Gettysburg. And I'll give a report after I've gone to that meeting. That's about all I have.
All right, we are at the public comment for non-agenda items portion of the meeting. Just reminder to everyone, public comment is limited to borough residents. And also we ask that you identify yourself by name and address when you make comment. So any public comment, non-agenda items. Yes?
Grace Beeston, Borough. I'm bringing this up for Joyce Unger about her street light that's out on North Queen. She said it was never fixed.
It's on the list. I was like to tell, I can call Med Ed and see what they'll do.
She couldn't make it tonight, so she asked me to ask about that.
That's okay. I mean, Med Ed is, they operate on their schedule. We let them know, and it's hard to do much beyond that, and except to follow up with them periodically. Other non-agenda item.
And I do have one other thing. Down at the library, the garden club takes care of the flowers and stuff, but there's a bush down there that they ought to take out. It's a rose that's dead. It's on the corner. So that would be the borough workers. Would they be able to do
I'll
that?
have to go look at it.
I'm always talking about weeds, please. But it is, seriously, needs taken out. So the borough would do that.
We'll look at it.
Yeah, I'd like to plant a seed tonight.
Please.
We have this beautiful new room, and I think we should plan to make it ours. And I don't know how we can do this, it's gonna take some planning, but I would like to see all of the former mayors that we've had in Littlestown maybe placed on a plaque that could maybe go against that wall back there. I don't know how far back we can go, because
We may have to rely on your memory for that.
Yeah, I can't go back too far, but I can go back somebody should be looking into. I don't know if I could do it.
Good idea.
I'm sure there's someone in town, I know probably Marilyn Zanger would be a very good one to have on that committee.
Betty, I know you have mentioned that to me, and I started to get some together. I try to do it in my spare time, because I can go back through, like, old minutes. And it'll
Actually,
be,
you don't have to do that, because I have a book,
yeah, that book that we had.
that centennial book, but it wasn't this one. It wasn't a recent one, but it has all the past
Yeah,
mayors listed in.
I have that one too, but I'm not sure that that has all of the mayors in it.
Yeah, it goes back pretty far.
I know it goes back pretty far, but it's probably all further than you go back.
Well, we'll see, because once all the records and minutes get digitalized, it'll be easier too to search in them. It's just gonna take some time for that project to get done. But I do have it on a list in my desk.
Yeah, and that's a good suggestion, Betty. I for one, agree with you. We were talking informally before the meeting started about new room. We obviously need some things on the walls in here anyway, and, you know, so we're getting there little by little. That's a great suggestion.
I also have the old map of Littlestown from 1865. There's only, well, I can go back for 6. I think there's 6 in existence, and I have one of them.
Wow.
Now, my daughter right now has it, when I had it at the shop, when I had the antique shop, and when I gave the antique shop, I didn't have any place to put it at home, so I gave it to my daughter to keep for me. So if I can get it from her, I think I would like to donate it to be placed someplace in history.
Great.
If
Great.
that's possible.
I told him.
Yes, Mr. Zanger.
Scott Zanger, Littlestown. I think you should talk to Ken Thomas at the Historical Society,
Good suggestion.
because he has records from forever.
Well,
So he could take care of that.
Yeah, and I'd like to get, I'd like to get some really old pictures. There's that Littlestown I Remember Facebook group that has periodically posted some really old photographs on there, and if we could get our hands on some of them and have some made up to put around in here would be kind of cool, I think, so.
Suzanne Johnson, oh, I'm sorry. Littlestown, a resident. I would just ask that, I don't know, maybe through the mayor or somebody reaching out and working with the school board to, when they set up their meeting schedules, and they'll set up their meeting schedule in December, if there's any way to try to minimize the overlap, because like in October, I can't be in 2 places at once. I can't be here and at a school board meeting. So if there's people that want to be involved in everything Littlestown and they're, you know, the governing of the town, it'd be nice if there wasn't a conflict between the council's meeting and the school board's meetings. And it happens a couple times a year on Tuesdays. Not very often, but I know that you guys set your schedule, and I don't know how far ahead it's set, maybe for the whole year, and they do their schedule, and they do their schedule in December for the next year. So if there's any kind of coordination that could happen, and any liaison between the two, that would be helpful to the public.
I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Chris Erdl, 31 Wheaton Drive, Littlestown. Just wondering if you guys, one of the questions that came up is whether you guys have a quorum, minimum amount of people that you need to have a meeting. But any quorum rules, I should say. I don't see any in any of the paperwork that you guys have, but, I mean, I noticed there's been a couple guys out here recently,
You need 3. You need a majority of council. So if I have less than 3 council members, there's no quorum. So they would still come in, sit down, the meeting would be called to order, and then the council president would state that there's no quorum of council, and then close the meeting right away.
so 3. So if there's less than 3, you don't have a meeting.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And that's actually set by borough state code.
I didn't see that. Yeah.
You need a quorum. You need a a majority.
Yes, ma'am.
Jenny McLucas here in Littlestown. When we have to activate the emergency alarm thing like you did for the possible tornado in the area, is there any way, and I know some people don't kill me if I asked you this, but I know people that live right in town, right on the square, they can hear it perfectly well. But us that are a little bit down further, when you're in your house, this last time, we really didn't hear it. And like 3 of the different neighbors, I heard the dogs barking, and I was like, what's going on? So I did go outside, and then I did hear it.
Yeah.
And then I alerted the neighbors too, and our phones started going off. But if you're in your houses, especially, if you got good windows and insulation, you really can't hear it. And I know
Just,
people
I don't
on the
need your
square
address,
are,
but what neighborhood do you live in?
like down towards Labella's.
Okay,
And I know people that live right in town,
right,
they don't want it louder,
yeah.
but we don't set it
I'll
off.
tell you, it cannot get any louder.
I
And
can't, okay,
That's county that sets that off. We
Yeah.
don't
Okay.
control it.
Yeah,
Alright.
I mean,
This
I
one
heard
actually
it,
spins.
I heard it, and then mine and my wife's phones were going crazy
well, the
as well.
phones went off and they were going crazy, cause I was working at home that day too, and I was like, okay, what's
So-
going on? But, I mean, the dogs obviously heard it, not my dogs, but the neighbors' dogs, and that's what
That's-
really alerted us,
Yeah,
but,
that's, as Cindy said, that's the county that,
okay.
that's theirs, basically.
I just told the neighborhood I'd ask, just to be
Sure,
on the
that's
safe
okay,
side.
thank you.
Yeah, that's actually a TMI siren. That's the
A what?
loudest one I could get.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't, but they control that setting and off and do the maintenance.
They need to upgrade that kind of stuff. Same with the alarm that comes on the radios. They need to get somebody that actually speaks clear to, I mean, not saying anything against you guys, but, I mean, come on. How many times have we heard things on the radio and we're like, what did they just say? They need to be a little more clear, but, yeah, I just think eventually they have to be a little louder because the houses are made better than what they were back.
Well, and I've been using that siren for 30 years to alert me when there's a fire call in this town.
And I know
that's
people
gone
hated that
now.
when it went off all the time, but
Yes,
now
ma'am.
it just,
So when you hear it, it goes off, but unfortunately, it's gonna be wind directional. So if the wind's blowing south, you're probably not gonna hear it as well.
gonna hear
The
it.
next time, it'll probably sound like it's in your living room because
Yeah.
the wind's blowing that
That's,
way. And
yeah,
because I live back behind Kenny's here, and it's the same thing. Sometimes I can hear it when it goes off on Saturday, and other days I'm like, yeah, I think it's going off. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's just wind directional
okay,
a lot
well,
of the times is what's
that
going on
explains
with
it,
that.
okay. I mean, we don't really need it, I know you used to do it once a month as a test thing,
That's the test.
but we haven't really turned it on except for when we had this,
So that was to get the community conditioned to, this is not a fire call. If it's not the first Saturday of the month at 12
Exactly,
o'clock,
something's going on.
it's time to get in your house and get in the basement.
Yeah.
That's what the whole idea behind it was, like, there's actually a problem going on, and we need you to hear that. So it is, I mean, we have our phones, we have the radio
Yeah.
system, we have this, it is just one more layer of a
Which
protection
is good.
system. Unfortunately, we can't control the wind and which way it's gonna go, and like Chuck said, that is one of the loudest ones, if not the loudest one that we have, so.
That's fine,
And there's, I'm sorry, just to follow up on what you said, that it only can be in one location, you can't have it in,
Yes. it's kind
the
of-
county says it has to be in this location, not like one on one side of the town and one on the other side of the town, so that,
So that's probably a better question for Chuck, but again, this is used to alert farmers in the field that were volunteer firefighters. That's originally how it started. It has turned into a warning system for tornadoes or natural disasters.
Right.
So
But
that's
it-
why it's in the middle of town.
right,
Because back in the day, this was all farmland. Behind here was farmland. They could hear it. That's what was going
Yeah.
on with it. So I mean, Chuck might be able to answer if they can move that. I
I don't know, I guess I could ask for a show of hands, is anybody in here that doesn't own a cell phone now? That you're not getting, I mean, to make the point sort of moot here. Your phone's probably, I'm sure everybody's phone probably went nuts that morning. So, and that's pretty damn loud, I know, made me jump when I was sitting there drinking coffee when my phone started, and I heard that, but I also heard the siren on top of the building in town too, but
The rain was a pretty good indication,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, well,
I couldn't even see.
and that was delayed that day. The phones went off a good minute before that even went off, if not more,
yeah.
when I went, so it's antiquated at best.
That's fine, I'm going.
Any other public comment? Yes.
Sorry. I sent an email a couple weeks ago, and I apologize. I totally was late on the email about the suggestion with the Community Block Development Grant. I still don't get the acronym very well. Community Development Block Grant? I caught myself.
CDBG.
Got it. No, I caught myself. I didn't know if you could reconsider that motion. And when you said something earlier, it kind of made more sense to me. The liquid fuel funds are for the roads, and that's ADA compliance. Usually counties use their highway funds, boroughs use the highway funds to make the sidewalks ADA compliant.
Right.
Majority of people who received the development block grant use it to improve their water infrastructure.
Right.
So, majority of the people that are receiving this from HUD, 71%, as everyone probably knows, has to go to the low income. So I truly feel that money should be used towards the water infrastructure, maybe with my proposal, or 5-point options of different ways we could alleviate January's increase from town, that we could push that back if we use that grant for infrastructure improvements and use the liquid fuel to fix the ADA curbs, which isn't a necessity, it's a nice to have. Water is a necessity, people can't afford it.
I understand your suggestion, your point. Council voted on that, made a decision. We're not going to rescind that decision. We made a decision some time ago over the last several years to use that CDBG money for just what we're using it for, and that's the handicap accessible curb cut-ins. And I'm not going to go into all the other suggestions you made about trying to alleviate, including perhaps not doing the January water increase. That's also always done in public meetings, voted upon by the council that gets elected by the citizens of this borough, and that's how things work. You know, I doubt that any of us have any opportunities to ask the county commissioners, the state legislature, or the Congress of the United States to change their minds once they vote on things and pass laws and pass regulations and
That
things
actually
like that.
happens all the time.
Well, you can.
I'm sorry.
That's fine, you don't have to be
It
sorry.
really does
Maybe
happen
you
all
are
the
sorry,
time.
I don't know.
I mean, Grove
But
versus
we are
Wade,
not,
they
we are
change
not,
back
we
and
are
forth all
not
the time,
going
with
to, we
marriage.
are not going to, and I'm gonna end this conversation right here.
Why are you getting so angry?
Huh?
I'm just trying to
No,
help the community.
I'm gonna tell you,
You're shaking.
we are not going to, no. I'd
May I
like,
just say too that it is, you cannot rescind that motion anyway because CDBG is time limited. We already had both of the public hearings on it, and it's already been sent to the county, and the commissioners will act on it, and then our application will be sent in. So it's too late for them anyway to rescind and redo that because it's very time sensitive.
That's fair. Have you looked into the community block service grant?
We go through the county for all of our stuff, because CDBG is very complicated.
No, I've read all the rules, but what I'm saying
Well, the
is,
rules aren't nothing to the people that you have to put all this information through.
I understand, but you had the due diligence to let the entire town know.
I
And not
did.
once did it show up on Savvy Citizen, hey, email me ideas of what we
I
can
do
use
it
this
per
grant
the
for.
county, what they tell me to do. Per CDBG, all you have to do is advertise it in the paper. That is what I have to provide to the county. The money goes into the county, and then the county disperses however they do it. I don't get involved in their end, they just tell us what's allotted to Littlestown. The county will tell me what I have to do to meet all the, compliance with CDBG.
All right, it's clear.
And that's just what I had to do, and
I
then we had
understand.
our 2 public hearings.
I wrote plenty of grants in my day, I just figured maybe I could keep trying because the town is very worried about the January increase. And then to my second point, I sent you 2 water rate calculators that are only gonna help the people of this town figure out what their water bill will be before they get it. So if you guys could please take the bill that you received and check my calculator so we can help town people figure out from metric meters to, you know, the hundredths to 1.6 and multiply. Not everyone knows that math. We're working with a community that is blue collar. So an easy online calculator would only help everyone if you guys could give it its blessing. So I can post it online and share it with the community.
Right,
We
and I
would
did
truly
respond to
appreciate
you though, as soon as I get some time and get
That's
some
fine,
bills,
but you have help.
I will,
Yeah, it's as simple as putting your CCUs in and it will tell you what your bill should have been.
It's-
Your CCFs, sorry.
for council to do it, it's a little bit different, because I'll be able to see the accounts and I can make sure that it's all calculating properly.
Okay, we already user tested it, but yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I can
Because
actually
there's
just,
different meters in the community.
yeah,
There's
this would
different
be for
meters. Some
meter
read in-
size 3/4.
No, some read in tenths, some read in hundredths. So each account has a multiplier. It depends on how your meter reads.
Well,
So
that's why it's an
that
estimate.
that calculator, well, it will make a big difference.
Okay,
So
that's fair. We can
as
make as many
soon
calculators as you would like.
well, I mean, I have a calculator, I just never put it on there because people will need to know what their meter reads. Whether their meter reads in tenths, hundredths.
Okay. So most people have a 3/4 inch meter.
That has nothing to do with it.
I'm saying most of the residents,
The
and
size of the
non-commercial.
meter has nothing to do with how the meter reads. There's a meter head on there that, and I don't know, Sean, if you can explain it a little better, but it can read in, because we're still in cubic feet,
Yes.
so,
There's two different residential meters. One is a older style, one is a newer style. The newer style reads in tenths, the older one reads in 100ths.
and then you have your radio reads that are 1.
Yes.
Well, if you provide us with that information, we'd be happy to make whatever and tell people
However,
exactly.
not,
how-
people aren't gonna know what size meter they're reading unless they
It
contact
actually
the
says
borough.
it right on the meter, and then.
But
the
we're all blue
brand.
collar, so we won't know.
Okay, so you,
That's not what I meant, but okay. I mean,
That's exactly what you said.
that's not what I meant.
Any other public comment now that we've gone off
I'm
the
blue
rails and got
collar.
into discussion?
Wait, what?
Pardon me?
You guys get so
Pardon
angry.
me?
I'm blue collar, and you guys get so angry. I'm not trying to upset anybody.
trying to help.
Any other public comment?
I just
If
put it in
not-
an email.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Oh, I need to.
Hey Liz, I have a question before you jump. No, she's
Oh, that's
Get it for time.